Hi, folks. This week on the lesson series, we're going to talk about Skip James, Devil Got My Woman, and how we can use that song to really stretch out our slide playing and kind of show people what we got. I want to give you a couple of techniques with the slide and a couple of techniques with the fingers that can add some interest to what you're doing. All right, so to start with, this guitar is tuned to open D, which is D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. All right, otherwise known as vestipole tuning. Vestipole tuning can also be open E, but I turn mine down to open D. All right, so first, let me just play the first verse of Devil Got My Woman in the intro the way I play it. Rather be the devil than be that woman, man. Rather be the devil now than be that woman's man. All right. So that's kind of the first verse. That gives you the idea. It's got that really great Skip James sound to it, that sort of deep, dark Delta sound. Okay, so first let me just start with fingers, all right? I talked about this in another video where I talked about some Skip James concepts, and that's the idea of constant movement, all right? So a lot of times he'll have going on in the bottom and then in the top. You know, just different notes, different things. He's just kind of skipping around. All right, so how I do this in this song is just... All right, so all that's happening there is the first chord, which is A minor. Here's how I finger it. So I've got open 5th string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, and I use my first finger for that. 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and I use my 3rd finger for that. And I'll put my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and I use the fat of this finger to block off the 3rd string so it doesn't sound. All right, and all I'm doing is, to keep it going, is doing this on the bottom. And then I'm just lifting up my 2nd finger and then open. And then I'm going to my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, still playing those top 2 strings. 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string, and then open. And then I'm going to the G chord, which in this case for G, I like this nice suspended sound because it really gives that flavor really well. All right, and that's just 2nd finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string open, 3rd finger, 1st string, 1st fret, and then the top 2 strings open. And a lot of times I will do this. And all that is I've got that chord set. For some reason, I find this very difficult. I take my 3rd finger and go to the 3rd fret of the top string, the high E, and then 2nd fret, and then open 1st string, and then I play with my, and of course I'm playing both of the strings on the top to just get a ringing sound. And then I'll take that 3rd finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and then play them both open again, and then we go back to the D, which, when I do that, that is I'm playing around with the second and third fret on the second string. I'm starting usually on the third. 3, 2, open. And then third string, I grab it right at the first fret and pull off till it's open, and then usually hit the fourth string. So, all right, and that's an interesting place to start. You can, and I've kind of got a little scale that I use. And that is this. And this really isn't a scale. It's just the note choices that I'll use there to keep constant movement going. So it is second fret on the first string, open, third fret, second string, second fret, second string, open, first fret, third string, and then third string, open, and then fourth string, open. And you can... And all that is going with the pull off that I showed you on the third string. 1 open, open fourth, and then third fret on the fourth string. Bend it up a little bit, and then open. So. You get the idea. You just want to keep this sort of loping movement going. Dun 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 da 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 da. Give that feel, you know. That kind of a feel to it. Okay, so there's the first trick. Now, you know, there's a lot you can do with octaves. Because, look. The sixth string is a D. The fourth string is a D. And the first string is a D. So you've got... All right? Any fret that you put your fingers down and you're on 1, the first string, fourth string, and the sixth string, you're going to play the same note. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, right? So, I mean, you've got all those notes. Now, there's a certain set of notes that I use in this song in particular, and a lot in blues, just to get that great sound. So, and let's just use the fourth string and the first string. 3, 2, open. Okay, and again, I'm on the fourth and the first string. So, here's the sort of set of notes. Open, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. And they will give you kind of that real Delta blues, dark Delta blues kind of sound, you know? Now you can also use the fourth fret, excuse me, to get that little last resolving note. All right, also you can use the sixth and the fourth. And it's going to be the same frets. Open, 2, 2, 3, fourth fret, 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 12th. And please excuse the tuning on this guitar. With all the problems it's had, sometimes when I finger the notes on this thing, it's not in correct intonation anymore. So there's a warning shot for you. If you decide to tune a guitar to open E, make sure it's not one that you just love and can't bear to put down like I've done. So, all right. Now let's talk about different chordal shapes and different ways to use these shapes. All right, so we've got that there. We've got this chord, which is the same as this, but we're putting that in with the 7th in. Okay, so if you go up to the 5th fret and you put your first finger on the 5th fret on the 4th string and your third finger on the 6th fret on the 3rd string, and your second finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and you play those, that is a D7th. But it's just got a little bit of a different sound. And if you take the fat of this finger and you just lay it back and let it catch the 4th fret on the top string, on the 1st string, there it is. That's a D7th. I do that a lot. I've been blessed with fatty fingers here. So I can just lay it down, see how I kind of let it lay there, and it'll catch the top string. All right. So what's cool about that is this is D. This, at the 10th fret with the same shape, is A. And it gets a really cool sound. So if I'm playing along and I've got my B minor, it's just got a different sound, you know, than this. All right, excuse me, G, not A. All right, and to get that, and I just fell onto that one day just fooling around. So if that can be a little thing for you, just sit around and just play with the guitar. You'll find little things. Okay, this, 1st finger, 10th fret, 4th string, 3rd finger, 11th fret, 3rd string, 2nd finger, 10th fret, 2nd string, and then you're going to let that top string ring. All right, so that's the G. Now the B, what B did I play? I love that one. So it's not B, excuse me. What A minor did I play? I still think in terms of the open E. All right, so I've got the open 5th string, and then on the 4th string, I've got my 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the 4th of the 4th string, and then my 1st finger is on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, and the 2nd string is open, and then I've got my 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the 1st string. Now, there's a couple of different ways I can work with that. I can go. Okay, where I would play the chord I just showed you. So I would go here, A minor. And I could play them all that way. Great. Or and then I'm just using the octaves. I'm going on that A minor and then letting that still ring. And all I'm doing there is taking the octave down 1 fret on the 4th and the 1st strings. 7, 6, and then I'm putting my 1st finger on the 5th fret on the 6th string. You can let that one ring, the 2nd string if you want, and just play at the 5th fret, 6, 4, and 1, and then 3rd fret, 6, 4, and 1, and then back open again. So it goes. And if you accidentally have some strings open, no big deal. It can help things out. All right. So the last thing I'd like to show you with your fingers, because a lot of people know all those types of licks. I want to show you something you can do where you're not playing octaves like that, but you're going. So what you're going to do, you're going to play different chords. Different chordal ideas just with 2 fingers. So what you're going to do is take your 3rd finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and your second finger and put it on the third fret of the fifth string and play them together. You're going to go 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to go second and sixth string, 3, 2, open. 3, 2, open, 3, 2, open. Okay, excuse me, I said 3, 2, 1. I've been fumbling my words a lot lately here. The other day I called the fret a nut on a video I did, so please excuse me. This seems to be my thing this week. All right. Now, what's cool about that? It just gets a different sound. Instead of going, you're going. Okay. So those are 3 different things you can do with your fingers to give yourself some interest in what you're doing. Now, let's talk about the slide. The first thing I want to talk about are lower notes on the slide. And I haven't heard a lot of people use lower notes a lot on the slide, but it's really cool. So you can, and I'm just going to show you a couple of licks. All right, and all that is, it gets a really nice sound. All that is open 6, slide up to the 4th fret on the 6th, open 5th, hammer on with a finger on the 2nd fret, open 4th, and then 5th fret on the 5th string. All right, that gets a lot of nice things. And the other thing you have to realize is any notes that you can play on this 1st string, you can also play on the 4th and the 6th. So, you know, Blind Willie Johnson was really big on that. He would go, he had the song, Nobody's Fault But Mine, you know. All right, so he had that. Well, in the middle of the song, all of a sudden he goes. He does it on the 4th string because it's all an octave and it gives it a lot of interest. So think about that. The notes open 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. You can do that on the 1st string, on the 4th, open 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 12. 10, excuse me, 12. And you can do it on the 6th string. Open 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. So, and it just all gives a different flavor. So anytime you're sitting there and you go, you know, all that lick is going to slide up on the 1st string to the 7th fret. Then come immediately down to the 3rd fret, and then open, and then 2nd fret on the 2nd string, and then open on the 1st string again. Now you can do that on the 4th string. Right, it's the same thing, because also the 5th and the 2nd string are also octaves to each other. So anything you do on the 2nd string, like I went, you can do on the 5th string. Okay, so that makes it very easy to find interesting ideas. All right? Now, that's it with the lower notes. Just remember that you can do anything. So, which leads me to octaves with the slide. Okay, so I find the easiest strings to do octaves with the slide on are the 4th and the 1st. And basically, you're just going to use the same scale that I showed you, you know. Open, 5, 3, open. 12, 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, 4, excuse me, 3, 2, open. All right, so let's do something there. All right, now all I did at the last there was use my fingers to go on third, and I was using on the fourth and the first strings at first, and I'm on third, 2, 3, 2, open, and then the fifth and second, 2, open, and then the sixth and fourth, 3, open. All right, and you can always go up here and just catch that on the 12th fret on the first string. Give it a nice little vibrato there. All right, so there's different chords you can also do with the slide. All right, and this involves a concept made popular by Sonny Landreth, if he didn't come up with it, and that's playing behind the slide. So to get started, I started playing by trying to copy Sonny Landreth, which I cannot do. I just don't know how to. Sounds like a dying duck when I do it. But I did start using the concept in harder, faster tunes, like Cross the River Jordan. You know, it has that. All right, so I found the going just really hard in my performances. So what I started doing was getting up here and then using my finger behind the slide to finger a note, to fret it. And then I thought, well, gosh, if I can do that, why not this? Makes playing quicker movements of notes easier, you know. Say you're in G. You know, there's a lot you can do up the neck with this technique. All right, so let me show you a lick. And this was kind of the first lick that made sense to me. And that was, all that is I'm going to use the slide basically up on the 12th fret. I'm going to start on the second string. Then I'm going to play the third string. And then I take my first finger and put it on the 10th fret of the second string. All right, so 12 on 2, third string, 10th fret on the second string, and then the back down to the third string, excuse me, on the 12th fret. All right, so okay. Let me get this all together for you. I usually do this without thinking. All right, so 12th fret, second string, third string, 12th fret. Then I'm going to put my first finger down on the 10th fret on the second string. And then 12th fret again with the slide on the third string. And then the fourth string. Then the fifth string. And then I put on the 10th fret my first finger down again on the fourth string. And then 12th fret on the fourth string. And then third string, 12th fret. And then 12th fret on the fourth string. So it's... All right, and it sounds really cool to do that kind of stuff when you're rather be the devil than be that woman's man. All right, there's other things you can do with behind the slide. One thing is to finger chords. Remember that lick? You can do it with the slide. So what you would do is put your slide at the 7th fret and play the 4th and the 1st strings. And then you would put a finger down. I usually try to use my 2nd finger on the 6th fret on the 3rd string. And that makes that a minor instead of an A, where you're just flatly going across all the top strings. You have to be a little ginger about it to play that open 5th string to do it, but it works. And basically, when you do the climb down this way, you're going to just play the open G major. Not open, but with the slide at the 5th fret across all the strings. So there's one more thing you can do. The other thing you can realize is when you do this, you're just playing an E7th. All right, that's just an E7th when you use that movement. And I love doing that with slide. All right, because it just gives a nice sound. It's a more of a sort of, mysterious or ghostly sound, I guess. All right, so that's kind of some of the different things you can do with chords and octaves and then lower notes. Now, let's talk about and behind the slide. And that behind the slide thing has lots of possibilities. So, try it with any, like on that B minor. And that's, if you want to play a minor 7th to any chord whenever you're playing, on the A minor, when you're playing in this tuning, open D, you could go, okay, this is an A, but this is an A minor 7th. So all you're doing is you would put your 1st finger, if you want to, on the 7th fret on the 6th string, and take the slide and lay it across the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string at the 10th fret. And in that, you can also do some interesting things like, now all that is we're going to start on the 3rd string at the 10th fret, and then finger or fret the 2nd string at the 9th fret with your middle finger, and just let that. The good point about playing behind the slide is you can kind of let things ring out. And it's just, and then to move it up, you're going to, on the 2nd string, you're going to let the slide play it. Then just lift your finger up and let the slide naturally hit it. Right? All right. So that's kind of an interesting thing you can do. And there's just all kinds of little things. Just constantly play, the... Just have some jam sessions like that where you just kind of go for it. All right. And last, let's talk about harmonics. Harmonics are something that I got from Bob Brosman. Just watching his videos, man, he's really something. So basically what you're going to do is, this is how I do it. He will do it anywhere and can do it anywhere, and I don't know how he does it, but he can do it the 5th fret, play harmonic there, and then all of a sudden bring the slide on. But the idea is you're going to continue the harmonic under the slide as it moves around. So make a harmonic at the 1st string at the 12th fret, right? And then you're going to take your slide, and I take it and just kind of very softly try to get it on there and bring it up. And I'll put it on any of those. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. And he moves it around where he'll go like that, but he's doing it with a harmonic. And to this day, I like to do that, where you're just kind of bringing the slide in. Now, what I like to use it for, too, is chordally play the top 3 strings, make a harmonic, and come into the 3rd fret. And I think it gives a really cool effect. It's almost like you got Jimi Hendrix on acoustic slide guitar. So you can see where that works out really well. All right, so practice with all those things. Enjoy them. Most of all, enjoy everything. Have fun. Love the music. Hey, keep the blues alive, baby. Have a great week.